What's up, everybody? Good early afternoon on this Thursday, and we've got a game in about 4 hours. So let's go ahead with the rooting guide. Let's talk about what we want to happen in these games besides the Seahawks game, objectively speaking, like I said. Quite a few games this week do not really mean anything to the Seahawks, which is kind of hard to do when you're this late in the season and there are so many balls in the air, but sometimes it happens. Like straight up tonight, Bengals Ravens. What's the incentive here? We've already played both of these teams. We're only playing each team once. They're AFC teams. I have a hard time figuring out what we're supposed to think of this game. I don't know what angle to approach this game from. So, whichever, Bengals, Ravens, take your pick. And let's swing right into Sunday where we're going to have another game that I I'm not sure there's much to expect here. Steelers versus Browns, AFC teams. We play both teams once. 6-3, they're both 6-3. If I had to say anything here, I guess I'd rather the Steelers win so they have a better record when they play us, because then they're going to be mentally not in the same state if they go into that game really needing that win. But that's super thin and it might not even be applicable. Like maybe winning games gets them on a roll and makes them play better. Like who knows? So that's another game where I don't think it really matters at all. It just depends on your perspective. So honestly, that's another one. Kind of root for whichever team you like the jersey color of more. Um, not seeing any meaning there. All right, we finally got a little bit of meaning with the Bears and the Lions. Of course, we're going to keep rooting for the Lions to find a weird loss somewhere. We need the Lions to find some weird losses because their schedule is really soft. They could very easily get the 1 seed without really doing anything over the top crazy because their schedule is such. And if we end up winning this division, which I know not great odds on right now, but it can happen. And if it does happen, we would be in contention with the Lions for the seeding. Now, obviously, if the Bears, excuse me, if the Bears lose, which is the likely outcome here, that's not the end of the world because the Bears are a team with a top pick. But they've already got 3 wins. They've played half decently in some of these games. They're not an awful team. I don't think the Bears are going to have a super high pick natively. So I don't even know if that's really all that great anymore. The Bears are probably going to win too many games to be picking in like the top 3, top 4 with their native pick anyway. But there is that little bit of a silver lining. Chargers, Packers, AFC on NFC. This one's easy. I know the Packers seem like they're no threat, and they probably aren't, but there's no reason to not hope that the it continues to go bad for them, right? Like we don't need them. Kind of like last year. Last year the Packers looked like they were out. They won a bunch of games at the end of the year, and going into that Sunday night game, they were pretty heavy favorites to make the playoffs. They just didn't get it done. So we don't need that happening again. Obviously, I seriously doubt that's even on the table, but if the Chargers can win, all the more unlikely. Raiders, Dolphins. This is another tough one. I mean, we don't play either team. They're both AFC teams. I I don't really have much for this one, guys. I can't think of a good angle here. Neither team is bad enough to get a high pick. Both teams are still, I mean, the Dolphins are in the playoffs. The Raiders are fighting for the playoffs. So, whichever, I guess. Raiders, Dolphins, take your pick. Giants, Commanders. So, this is actually kind of a tough one now. We want the Commanders to lose because they're a wild card contender in the NFC, but they are a couple games behind the Seahawks. In fact, they're 2.5 games, I guess. And we beat them head to head. So they're not a huge threat to the Seahawks. And on the other end, we want the Giants to lose because we want them to continue to maintain their position at the top of the draft, where I do suspect with the way things are going, they're going to end up with the top pick and get Caleb and keep him out of Arizona and keep Arizona out of that number 1 spot, which is desirable. So this is tough. I think I would rather the I think I would rather the I think I would rather the Commanders win. I'm not really worried about that team in the wild card race because of everything I just said. We've got a good lead. We've got the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker is immutable because it's head to head. And I just want the Giants to keep losing. So that one's tough. You could argue we want the Commanders to lose, but at the end of the day, I think we all understand that the Commanders are not losing this game. Like they're not. The Giants could not be tucking tail more obviously than they are right now, continuing to play Tommy DeVito at quarterback. All right, Cowboys Panthers. So of course we're going to continue to want the Cowboys to lose. If they're going to actually fall out of the playoff picture, they're going to need to lose some games they have no business losing, like this one in Carolina as double-digit favorites. Of course, we want the Panthers to maintain the top pick, sending it to Chicago, again keeping it from Arizona. But I think that's a little bit less important than pushing the Cowboys down. I mean, even if the Cowboys don't fall out of the playoff picture, we would certainly prefer to have their seed as opposed, their 5 seed as opposed to us having like the 6 or 7 seed. So even if the Cowboys do make the playoffs, we're going to be competing for seeding. And personally, I would rather play a team like the Saints or the Bucks than the Lions or Niners or whoever would be in that 3 spot or 2 spot. So if it comes to that, yeah, I think we want the Cowboys to keep losing. It's not the end of the world if the Panthers lose because draft stuff, that stuff matters. That stuff is really starting to matter. Titans Jags. We play the Titans. Strength of schedule. I guess we want the Titans to win. That's it though. Another AFC on AFC match. I don't think the Titans are bad enough to get a top pick, so all I got is the strength of schedule argument. That's really all I got. Last morning game we got Cardinals at Texans. The Cardinals own both teams' first round picks, but their native pick is the one that is possibly going to be in the top 5, top 3, maybe even top 1. So actually, this is going to be a very rare instance where I say I think we want the Cardinals to beat the Texans. Either way, the Cardinals pick gets helped and the other one gets hurt. We would rather their top pick get hurt. Uh, their Texans pick is already going to be in the middle, it looks like. At this point, the Texans could lose out, and that pick still isn't going to be that high. So, yeah, I think we actually want the Cardinals to find a way here. And the way they're playing, it's not beyond the pale. So, yeah, very rare instance here, but I think we want the Cardinals to win. All right, now we get to the afternoon here. We got Buccaneers at 49ers. This one's easy. The 49ers, we're probably going to need somebody else to help us out. We are probably going to need somebody else to help us out because I don't think we're sweeping the Niners. And even if we do split with them, they're going to have an advantage because they're probably going to sweep the Rams and we're just going to hope to split with them. So that's not going to cut it if there's a tiebreaker involved. So we're going to need some creative help. And a team like Tampa Bay going into San Fran and beating them, that's definitely creative help. Not counting on it, but we know what result we want, that's for sure. We want the Buccaneers to find a way. Jets, Bills, I got nothing. I got nothing on this one either. This is another AFC on AFC game. Both teams are not in contention for a super high pick. I can't really think of any good angle here. If you want Aaron Rodgers to stay alive, you probably want the Jets to keep losing. But if you don't want Aaron Rodgers to still be alive at the end of this season, maybe you want the Jets to keep winning. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you feel about that. All right, so 5:20 Sunday Night Football. We got the Vikings and the Broncos. And this is going to be a classic AFC on NFC. I know the Broncos have that third round pick. I understand that if they win this game, they will be tied with the Saints record wise. But that is going to be significantly outweighed by the fact that the Vikings are streaking right now and somebody needs to stop it. And realistically, they're probably going to be the third wildcard team. It's going to be, right now, it looks like the wildcard teams are Dallas, Seattle, and Minnesota. So it's not like Minnesota can push us out, but they can push us down. So we need somebody to stop this stuff. We need this nonsense to be put to an end here. So Vikings, Broncos. I understand the third round pick aspect is present, but that's just going to be outweighed this week easily. And then Monday Night Football, we got Eagles, Chiefs, AFC on NFC. Easy to figure out here. Not that I think we're going to catch the Eagles, and I think the Eagles are going to whip us when we play them. Terrible matchup. Awful matchup for our defense right now in particular. But it's not like the Chiefs have anything to do with us. So we may as well root for the Eagles to lose and then hope something crazy happens, right? Crazy stuff does happen. So, yeah, that's it. Falcons, Colts, Patriots, Saints on a bye this week. So that's the rooting guide. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you see it from a different angle. But I'm feeling like those are the desired outcomes. See you guys later today. More videos coming.